So welcome to our mechanical room. This is the one location in the bunker that, while everything else has been repainted and looks modern, this is the one room that, while all the facilities have been updated, the room still gives you a glimpse back into 1963, which is a great piece of history for us. When President Kennedy asked that we set up, as part of a national program, this bunker as our state's emergency operations center, the goal was more than to just have a place for responders to work. We knew back then that all of the systems that supported those workers also had to be redundant and had to be built out to sustain an emergency. So our bunker here is a completely self-sufficient and redundant location with backup systems that can support us even if things we're used to go down, and I'll walk through some of those. As an example, you see the huge generators that are behind me. This building is built with multiple redundancies in power. So if the feed from the outside on the poles and wires were to get hit by a car on Route 9, or if the power grid were to go down during a major disaster, these generators could be started and power the entire facility for a series of days to weeks. We have 1,000 gallons of fuel that are stored on site, and it only takes one of these generators to power the entire building. We have two of them for backup purposes. And really, these were built, the bunker was built with these in place because it's not very easy to remove a generator from the mechanical room of a concrete reinforced bunker where you're underground without access from the sky. So power aside, water and sewer are also redundancies that were built into this facility. If we lose our water mains due to an earthquake or some other type of disaster, we do have two 40-foot wells of potable drinking water that are in the rear of this mechanical room to allow us access to water if we needed it. We also, because we're 40 feet underground, we can't just flush a toilet or turn on a sink and let gravity take that dirty water into the sewer system. We have to pump that wastewater up into the sewer system, which is above us where we are right now. So we have two separate sewer pump stations here, and if both of those were to fail, or if our sewer system was compromised due to an earthquake or some other disaster, we have the ability to switch from city sewer to having a truck parked on site to be able to truck away sewer if we needed to keep this facility operational. We also have the ability here with our heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system to keep the building at a constant temperature and make it comfortable while we're underground. When the building was originally built back in 1963, it had the ability to shut off the outside air and essentially turn this bunker into an airplane, where we'd be able to recirculate the air in the building and keep it fresh and filtered. Due to some advancements in technology and also just the limitations of 1960s equipment, that function is no longer available, but our HVAC systems here have been updated with the latest energy efficient systems, and it allows us to keep things clean, filtered, and at a comfortable temperature. We also have the ability here to have redundant systems as far as some of the support services that we have. So where you walk through the cafeteria right before you got down to this room, you'll notice that all of the utilities there are electric. We don't depend on things like natural gas in the building, so that if that system ever went down and we didn't have access to exterior fuels, we could still cook and provide heat and have an ability to prepare meals out of our cafeteria with the electricity that we can provide. And we also have an uninterrupted power supply, or a UPS here. So the time between when the power goes down and the generator starts, we have about 30 minutes. Normally we only need about 10 seconds, but if there was a problem with the generator starting, we have about 30 minutes of battery life to keep all of our critical systems online and functioning. When President Kennedy had this initiative, they also took into account that there would be 300 people that would be working underground for up to 30 days, 150 people working days and 150 people working nights. So this would be a 24/7 facility. And part of the things that went into those planning factors back in the 60s was what happens if of those 300 people someone gets sick or someone dies underground when the blast doors are shut and you can't get in outside help or bring people to the outside. This building was built with a 2-corpse morgue that's in this mechanical room still to this day for that exact purpose. So if during an activation someone were to pass away while they were underground, the morgue was built here to be able to support that during that difficult time. There was also a medical room and a doctor's office that was built in as part of the bunker, so that if people were sick while they were here, there would be a physician that could tend to them. If there was a woman working who was pregnant and she went into labor while she was in the bunker and unable to get out, there was the ability for that woman to deliver the baby underground and have the proper medical care here. All of those sites have really been transformed into workspaces today, but that gives you a glimpse into the history of the bunker. Behind me, also in the rear of the mechanical room, is the third exit from the bunker. When they designed this building, they built an escape hatch into the roof, which is, if you're outside looking at the roof of the bunker, next to the cooling tower that you see stand up in the back corner. There's a hatch that has the ability, and still operates to this day, to be able to open up and allow people to exit via a stairwell in the rear corner of the mechanical room. So that's, while it's not published as an exit because this is a secure room within the mechanical room, it allows those in this room to escape if we needed to. And our primary exits are the two ramps, the one you walk down and the other one on the opposite side of the building. In the 1960s, this room was so important and critical to the bunker that there was actually an employee who was hired full-time to be the facilities engineer here. And his office was in this room. He had access to a series of gauges and labels and charts and flows so that he could monitor all of the different systems from one office. And that office is still here in its vintage form today, even though it's no longer used, because all of our systems here in the bunker can be monitored both remotely and from workstations in different offices across the building by our existing facility staff who keep this building running every day.